Chelsea are determined to beat Barcelona to the signing of Amadou Onana, and have already submitted an offer to Everton, according to reports in Spain. 22-year-old Onana has regularly been linked with a move away from Goodison Park, amid the Toffees' financial struggles and the serious threat of relegation from the Premier League. Barcelona have been tipped as a potential landing spot for the midfielder, but Catalan outlet Sport claim they face an uphill battle if they are to sign him this summer. Deco, Barcelona's sporting director, is said to have identified Onana as the perfect fit for the midfield profile he wants to bring in this summer, a strong player who excels out of possession, but the club have been put off by Everton's £60 million asking price. Barcelona are therefore trying to come up with imaginative formulas to sign players like Onana, but anticipate that Premier League clubs, with greater financial resources, will sign the Belgium international instead, with Chelsea ready to offer a huge sum. Sports English sources believe the cash-rich Blues have already presented a first offer to Everton. There could still be an auction for Onana as well as centre-back Jared Branthwaite, who is wanted by Manchester United. While in an ideal world Everton would fight hard to keep the duo, they accept they must sell their key assets to ease the club's financial burden. Everton have been docked 8 points so far this season, for 2 separate breaches of the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules. Their second penalty, a deduction of 2 points, could be reversed following an appeal. Sean Dyche's side sits 16th in the standings, only 2 points above the relegation zone. Onana has been one of their standout players so far this season, making 25 appearances and scoring twice, though he was substituted for a poor performance, ironically against Chelsea at half-time of a 6-0 loss on Monday. According to The Sun, Burnley are seeking £30 million this summer for goalkeeper James Trafford in the midst of interest from Chelsea and other Premier League clubs. Even though Trafford had a challenging first season in the Premier League with Burnley, a team that was relegated, he is still considered one of the best and most promising goalkeepers in the country. After being relegated to the Championship, the Clarets want twice as much money from the Blues as they paid Manchester City last summer. In the 38 league games that Burnley played last season, Trafford started 28 of them. However, he was benched for the remaining 10 games by former manager Vincent Kompany in favour of Arianet Muric. The new Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca sees Trafford as the long-term choice for the goalkeeping position. Maresca has worked with Trafford before at Manchester City during his time as a coach under Pep Guardiola at the Etihad Stadium. The Blues are targeting a move for a goalkeeper who would suit the possession-based style of the new manager. Maresca plays similar to how Guardiola plays, with the goalkeeper building play from the back, and for that he needs someone who is good with the ball in his feet. George Petrovic and Robert Sanchez are impressive when it comes to shot-stopping ability, but with the ball in their feet, they are not as well equipped as the Burnley goalkeeper. Chelsea face competition from Newcastle United to sign the English goalkeeper. The Magpies have turned their attention to Trafford due to Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale's high price tag. It remains to be seen what the future holds for Trafford and where he would be playing his football next season. Chelsea's interest in the player makes sense, who are looking to provide their manager the right platform to instill his philosophy and bring players who are comfortable in playing the style of football he prefers. The West Londoners have already secured the signing of Tosin Adarabioyo to improve the defence, and the move for Trafford could settle another position for long-term in the starting lineup. RB Leipzig forward Benjamin Sesko has signed a new contract at the Red Bull Arena, the club announced on Wednesday, amid interest from Premier League clubs including Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester United. ESPN reported on Tuesday that a deal between Sesko and Leipzig was close. The forward had been scouted repeatedly this season by Arsenal, who were thought to be leading the race prior to talks between the striker and Leipzig over recent days. The 21-year-old had attracted interest from across Europe after scoring 18 goals across all competitions last season, with multiple Premier League sides considering triggering his €65 million $69.8 million release clause. "I had a good first year at RB Leipzig and am incredibly happy to be here," Sesko said in a statement. "Team, club, city, fans, the overall package remains simply outstanding for me. The early contract extension is therefore the logical step for me." Sesko will appear for Slovakia at this summer's European Championship, which begins on Friday. He has 29 international caps, scoring 11 goals. Chelsea reportedly could discover the fate of RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko this week before the European Championships kick-off in Germany. Sesko has been the subject of strong transfer links already this summer, having scored 18 goals for his Bundesliga club. Last month, the Daily Mirror reported that the 21-year-old had agreed a switch to North London and preferred a move to Arsenal this summer. However, that move has not gathered traction yet. Hopes of a deal this month looked unlikely now that the European Championships start in 3 days. Sesko has been called up for the Slovenian national team and is seen as the key player if they wish to get out of their group consisting of England, Denmark and Serbia. However, according to journalist Fabrizio Romano, the impending international tournament will not have a bearing on deciding his future. My information is that it could come really soon, Romano said when discussing the possibility of a transfer decision being made by the forward. I don't think it is going to be a long saga, I don't think it will be a saga for July and August, I think it will be resolved in June. Probably before the Euros, but it is not guaranteed yet because it depends on the player, but the idea of the player is to decide as soon as possible. This is the priority, so I expect the decision really soon. 3 minutes was all John Duran needed to have a huge say on Aston Villa's Premier League clash against Liverpool in the final week of the 2023-24 Premier League season. Introduced in the 79th minute with Unai Emery's side trailing 3-1, the Colombian was on the scoresheet 6 minutes after his introduction with his drilled effort finding the bottom corner of Alisson's goal. 3 minutes later and Villa had managed to rescue a point with Duran getting the better of the Brazilian once again. There was certainly a touch of fortune about the striker's goal as Moussa Diaby's pass cannoned off his thigh and went in, but his contribution inside 182nd half seconds highlighted just what he can bring to the pitch. Duran causes chaos and unpredictability, making him an absolute nightmare for opposition defenders. Villa captain John McGinn made that point perfectly clear in his post-match interview with Sky Sports, via Birmingham World. This place got us going when we got the second goal. It's a brilliant effort. Big John is a bit nuts at times. He's a nightmare sometimes to have in your team, but he's got moments of quality, said the Scotsman. Okay, the second goal, an accidental chip over Alisson, was not about quality, but the first one was a top finish. We will need to try to keep his feet on the ground the next couple of days. Linked with a surprise move to Chelsea in the January transfer window, Duran appears to be on the Blues' radar once again as they look to bring in a new striker this summer. According to The Telegraph, Chelsea have rekindled their interest in the youngster, with Benjamin Sesko now set to remain with RB Leipzig rather than seal a move to the Premier League. Amid links to players such as Victor Gyökeres, Victor Osimhen and Dominic Solanke, Duran, who joined Villa in a deal worth £18 million in January 2023, would cost less than the aforementioned trio. It is a move that may indeed suit Chelsea due to his potential price tag and the fact that he could develop into a very good Premier League player over the coming years. Duran is rated highly by Emery at Villa Park, but the Spaniard has been unable to guarantee him regular football due to the outstanding form of Ollie Watkins. The Medellin-born player was restricted to only 11 starts over the course of the campaign, but he still managed to contribute with 8 goals. His sublime strike against Crystal Palace in September highlighted the quality in his locker, as did his first goal in the 3-3 draw with Liverpool. Although Duran and Villa do have Champions League football to look forward to from September onwards, the pull of Chelsea may be too much to resist for the starlet if indeed they try to lure him to SW6.